Hi, my name is Andrew Sears. I'm the president of City Vision University, and I'm going to give you an overview introduction to technology cross-cultural organizations in the poor. The basic idea behind this course is, there's a lot of different ways that you can help the poor, but one of the most significant ways is through innovation and technology, and business practices. So there's course goals, and this is kind of like the cheat sheet of, what are we trying to do. Um, the main thing we're trying to get you to learn is the idea of low-cost business models and common strategies applied by businesses serving what's called the base of the pyramid or the bottom of the pyramid, and poor communities, and apply those into organizational strategy. Um, Along with that, we're going to have a section where we look at cultural and power implications of some key trends, and then we're going to apply principles of cross-cultural organizations, and we're going to work to help you better understand the digital divide, the knowledge divide, diffusion of innovation, and how you can develop strategies to respond. And we're going to look at a lot of case studies and business strategies that were successful in serving the poor and apply that towards organizational strategy. So the outline, weeks 1 through 3, we're going to be focused on the idea of the bottom of the pyramid. We're going to be going through the book, The Fortune at the Bottom of the Pyramid. In week 4, we're going to be looking at culture. And how does culture affect how we design for the poor, and especially social class? Then in week 5, we're going to look at the idea of diffusion of innovation and the knowledge divide. And week 6 and 7, we're going to go through some case studies, and you're going to be working on a rough draft of your final project and the final project. So this course, like many of our courses, is a project-based learning course. The majority of your grade will be focused on the final project. So our standard final project template is you're going to have a section on a book review of the main book, and then for some of the key readings and videos, you're going to be doing 1-paragraph reviews of those. And then we're going to have you do case reviews as you're going through the course in your assignments. And you can use those case reviews. If you pick the right cases, they can be a part of your final project, but they need to be things that's going to apply to your consulting case. And your consulting, basically what we're going to do is your final project, the main part of it is going to be focused on, you're going to imagine that you're at a company. It could be your existing organization, an organization you've been affiliated with, or just an organization you'd like to kind of role play and imagine that you're at that. And what you're going to do is you're going to basically pretend that you've been hired by them as a consultant to create a research report and strategic plan for a new division at the organization using technology for the poor. So you're going to be trying to get all the concepts in this course to help an organization develop its strategy. So that's what the research report's on. For those of you who haven't done a research a consulting report, actually, you can look up on the web what goes in a consulting report. We have a link where you can learn about that. And at the end, you'll just do self-evaluation, reflection, and in particular, we're looking for ideas for future courses. So that is the summary of what the final project is. So the way it's going to work is, in week 1 of the final project, you're going to develop a first draft proposal for the final project. Week 3, you're going to do a 2-page book review of The Fortune at the Bottom of the Pyramid and 1-paragraph reviews of each of the videos. And then at the end, you should revise the final proposal. At the end of week 3, you're going to revise your final project proposal based on feedback, but then you're going to include at least 5 possible organizations that you could collect information and contact. So you're going to be doing that as you go through the project. And I've had different people do different things. Some people wanted to run schools, so they contacted schools to learn from them. And I don't want you to just use information off the web. I want you, it's okay for maybe a couple of organizations, but I want you to actually call these organizations and see what you can learn from them. Try to collect materials, because that's a part of the purpose of the project. So you talk with these folks. So if you have any questions, you can ask your instructor in the course. I will be co-teaching this course in 2016, and in future years there'll probably be another instructor. So I'm going to now go into part one, which is just some supplemental material on technology and low-cost business models, which is the first section. So BOP is short for bottom of the pyramid or base of the pyramid. It's what this primary book that you're using for the course, The Fortune at the Bottom of the Pyramid, is. And one of the things we're going to use in this course is typically BOP principles are focused just on the poor globally. So they'll talk about, the bottom billion, the bottom 2 billion, the bottom 3 billion, depending on how it's defined. But I actually want to emphasize that I think that it applies to that group, but it also applies to serving the poor within a given country. So it would apply to serving, say the bottom 2 billion globally, but it also, many of the same principles are going to apply to serving, say, the bottom 20% in any given country. And I talk about this much more specifically in the paper I wrote on reconciliation on social class. The term the poor, or even talking about the bottom of the pyramid, it's hard to exactly define, and it can be helpful just to think about it in multiple dimensions. So one of the key aspects of this course is that the world has been centered around the West up to now, and I think one of the points that we need to get used to in this course is that the map of the world, and it's interesting whenever you look at maps of the world, often, they have the West centered on it, but this is the map of the future of growth, both in business. This is the future for those of you who are in ministries. This is the future of growth of Christianity. This is the future of growth in population. It's about the global South in the East. It's not about the West. So there's huge things happening in the top business schools in the world around this concept of bottom of the pyramid, and the reason is because that's where most of the growth is happening. So I want to just emphasize a couple things about characteristics of bottom of the pyramid business models. So many of you have seen the project management triangle, and the idea is that you can pick, what's your most important factors. So if you want something done quickly and you want it done with high quality, then it's going to cost you a lot. If you don't care about the quality, and then you can get it done for lower cost, and for not as much time. So, but you can't really have all three. You can't save on all three. So the important thing on this, anyone who's kind of been in the business world or project management will have seen this triangle. What's important is the bottom of the pyramid. Cost is the defining factor. So you start saying we have to have a product that the poor can afford, or the bottom of the pyramid can afford, and then you go from there. So the priority usually for the poor is cost, then speed, then quality. Sometimes it varies, and it'll be quality over speed. The other characteristics, you need to get high volume to achieve low cost. And the other thing is that labor and time is cheap. The world is increasingly being divided into two categories: those who have lots of time but no money, and those who have lots of money but no time. In the bottom of the pyramid, they're in the category that have lots of time but no money. And the other characteristic of bottom of the pyramid business models is pay as you go is better than high upfront capital costs. So the prepaid cell phones where you pay along the way, each month, works out better than buying an $800 cell phone and things along those lines. So that's just some of the key characteristics. I can use technology and culture across class generations and class. So this is just one way to look at technology and culture. But you have brands that are focused on the upper middle class. So Apple and iTunes, I would say, is very focused on that. They're focused on the younger generation. So they're closed, they're monocultural, and their priority is number 1, quality, number 2, speed, number 3 is cost. So their cost structure is pretty high. You know, the older generation, I would say the record labels, the publishing industry, and their cost structure is even higher. And then you have, you know, say the Android operating system, and its priority largely is cost, then speed, then quality. So, and there's a lot of other, you know, technologies that are kind of like that. Another thing that you can look at, and this really doesn't get into some of the stuff that you'll cover in weeks 4 and 5, but just the concept of project management. So if you've done project management, there's something called waterfall, and the idea is that you're going to have a highly structured project plan. Everything's going to be defined, and you're going to do stage 1, then you go to stage 2. That's kind of the waterfall to stage 2, and then stage 3. That's the highest cost method. So it's great for things like, you know, building a rocket to go to the moon, but it's not very effective if you're trying to build something really low cost. And then there's a lot of Western companies have come up with things that are more medium cost, and then there's the low cost, which we'll talk in the coding world. It's, you know, lean versus better, Kanban, lightweight, but there's also some others that we'll introduce you to. So if you have any questions in this course, just ask myself or the instructor, and we look forward to meeting you in the course. Thanks a lot.